blessings to you. My name is Jere B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. Welcome to another incredible episode of the EntreMusician. Today marks a first for our EntreMusician conversations because this is the first time I've ever interviewed a DJ. But now he says producer, sound engineer, artist, all of these descriptions are on his platform, so that definitely makes him an EntreMusician. But this is DJ TEI1013, and we are going to dive into it. But before we do that, you know we got to do this. All of our episodes, everything we do from our YouTube channel to the EntreMusician.com are sponsored by the wonderful people at Vocal. You know, Vocal is the only beverage on the planet which is designed to soothe, refresh, and restore your voice. So if you talk all day like I sometimes do, or you DJ all night like DJ TEI1013, you gotta get yourself some Vocal. Go to Vocal. drinkvocal.com to learn more. That's drinkvocal.com to learn more. Brother man, peace and blessings to you. How you doing, man?
I'm doing outstanding, man. How about you?
Man, I'm doing absolutely excellent. First, I want to say thank you so much for your service to our country. We have a lot of respect for military men and women who serve, and you served our country valiantly. Saw your resume, man. Thank you for your service to the country.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show, man.
Absolutely. And not only did you serve our country in the U.S. Army, you were also in law enforcement for like 10 years as well, correct?
Yeah. Prior, before I went into this service, I was law enforcement as well.
In New Jersey, Edison.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Jersey.
Oh my goodness, that's what's up, man. So DJ TEI1013. The most important question I'll probably ask you in this interview is the first one. Okay. And what does the 1013 represent?
So, all right. So this is what happened. My original DJ name is DJ Bam Bam. All right. So from back in the day when I first started, there's DJ Bam Bam SPI, which is Sound Product Industries. So during one of my tours, my combat tours, when I came back, you know, I wanted to start getting back into music, you know, start DJing again. And I was looking at Bam Bam, and I was like, I don't think I can go with Bam Bam anymore. It was just something about my mindset right there that, hey, I just couldn't go with Bam Bam anymore. So I decided to go with my name, Tay. But it was a little dry at the time. So, you know, just start putting different things behind it, you know, and just 1013 just came up. You know what I mean? It was a complete situation. We came up with 1013.
So it's not your birthday. It doesn't represent.
No,
it's not your address. I mean,
you know, I'd have to let you hear one of my loops, and it just rings. And I had a person that did my voiceovers. Her name was Stephanie. She's British. She's from the UK. And just the way it rolled off, it just sounded really good with it, you know. So I just rolled with 1013.
So she's the young lady on the commercial that I watched.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Very cool. Yeah, she does give you the ring to it, that's for sure. So you were DJing in radio prior to you enlisting in the Army? Is that what I understand?
Well, I've always had, you know, like a love for music from growing up when I was younger. And what pretty much what happened is I was DJing, and then I got into law enforcement. So that's actually what really launched my career to a different level. Because when I was younger, I started off way back in the day when, you know, we weren't really going to clubs. You know, we were at the skating rink. Yeah. I don't know if you remember back in the day.
Oh, I do.
You know, that was our club at the skating rinks, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started like doing like a lot of mixes at the USA Skating Rink, which was in New Jersey. I don't know if you're familiar with New Jersey, but the USA Skating Rink and the other one was called the Rink. Those were like the two biggest skating rinks back in the day. So, that's where I started. I was a young cat then.
Yeah.
So then I wanted to venture out into different things, so, I started noticing that, everybody's starting to migrate to these small clubs. We had Mingles, Club 357, Poor Billy's, and eventually I just started evolving into those clubs. Basically back in the day, it was word of mouth. Somebody said, "Oh, that DJ's over here. He's pretty good. Let's try to, get him over there." So that's how I managed to get into like the Jersey clubs, right? So then what happened is I was going to college. I was in Rutgers, and I started DJing at the frat parties, and then there was a radio station back in the day called SOU. It used to be at Seton Hall University, and those guys were phenomenal. Those DJs on there, I mean, that's what really sparked me into like, oh wow, this could really be something, because those cats were on target. I'm talking about like DJs like T. Scott LaRock, Chef Pettibone, Roman Ricardo, you know what I mean? Even Frankie Knuckles was back in the day. So I remember, I'm sure you heard of Lula Vega, right?
Yes.
So I remember back in the day was little Lula Vega. You know what I mean? So I guess when he got older, he's like, no, I got to take the little off and just be Lula Vega,
Sort of like Bam Bam.
Yeah, exactly. So after that, I had a scholarship and everything to play ball at Rutgers, and I got hurt in my sophomore year, so I couldn't play anymore. I had a chip bone in my ankle. So it's not like nowadays we can just get an arthroscopic surgery to go and repair it. Back in the day, they had to do a complete open, and it came down to like I'd have with or without a limb. So I chose, not to go with that surgery then. So which, I couldn't play football anymore. So yeah, I got a little depressed then, and I dropped out my junior year, and I got into law enforcement. I said, what else can I do? So I was one of the youngest police officers, state troopers that they put on the state police at that time. I was 19 in academy. So when I came out of the academy, I was young. I had to do my troop year, but they came up with this program that they was like really heavy into drug interdiction back then. So back in the day, all of your drug not like I say all, but a lot of your drug transactions took place where? In the clubs, the DJ booth, which VIP room, so that pretty much worked out for me, because I was a young DJ. So I'm gonna leave that conversation right there, because that's where that portion, took place. And I actually got trained. I got sent to schools to learn how to DJ. Learn how to DJ better than what I was doing at the time, so that I can fit into bigger clubs where all these transactions were taking place. So, yeah.
So for clarity, you're saying that there were schools that you went to actually train you as a DJ? Is that?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I was DJing before, beforehand, but there was also schools that I got sent to, to learn with crowd control back then, how to work the clock, harmonic mixing, how to work with, with the bar to rotate the crowds from the dance floor to the bar, back to the floor, pump them up and then work them back to the bar. Because you got to, you have to work that
Get them thirsty. Keep them thirsty.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So, you learned, those mechanics of DJing, then how to control the crowd, I learned, which was all provided by the New Jersey State Police. So I'll just leave it at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you know, I'm sure there's a lot of like that.
I understand. Wow, that's really interesting. Now you've opened up about 4 or 5 different rabbit holes for me to walk down.
Yeah, I told you there was an interesting story to this. So.
Absolutely. So now, are you a conventional musician as well as a DJ, or it was just on spinning the records?
Oh well, you know, I also play the piano. I'm a percussionist. But as far as incorporating that with my sets, very little, unless I've mapped different things to the keypads and everything. But I haven't actually played the piano as I'm doing a set. But that's an idea. That's an idea.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what about releasing any original music or any mixes or mixtapes that you've done to distribute?
Well, that I've actually done. There's this one barking. I'll mention this one because it's pretty crazy. It's Barking Caucasians it's called, and on this CD, there's this track that I did a remix for called "Forget Me Nots," which is pretty cool. So, and that was released 2 years ago on Barking Caucasian LP.
No relation to Patrice Russian's old school Forget Me Nots, huh?
No. It's a total different track.
I need to ask because there were some cuts that I saw when going through your LinkedIn profile and whatnot, and I thought, just being a DJ, whether they were original cuts or were they remixes,
right.
of the original stuff. So
but I've done quite a few remixes though. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And then also I'm on the show right now, currently the RT30, the remix top 30 countdown out of New York, which is with Sean Hollywood Hamilton. That's like one of the most, it is the largest, most listened to syndicated mix show in the U.S. Mm-hmm. So I'm fortunate to be on that,
That's excellent.
So I do a lot of remixes as well. Yeah.
So you mentioned
92 people out of New York. So give me a little pump up there.
Absolutely, by all means. Now you say, when you growing up and whatnot, you were listening to people like Shep Pettibone and Lulu and whatnot. Was there some things that you could pretty much model and take away from them, or have you incorporated just about everybody that you grew up in and created the DJ TEI style?
Absolutely. I mean, back in the day, like I said, I was young coming up in those days and coming up in behind these guys, playing either opening for them or playing alongside of them. They were definitely an inspiration, especially David Morales, Roman Ricardo. These are guys that were playing in like the clubs, like the Limelight. I'm sure you know about the New York clubs a little bit, right?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So you had the Limelight. What else you had? You had going for a loop here. So you had the Tunnel. Tunnel was another big club back in the day. Tunnel, Limelight, Palladium, China Club. And everybody, that's what like all the entertainers went to. Like a lot of actors and actresses from Hollywood, when they came into New York, they would always go to the China Club. Mm-hmm. I think even Dave Chappelle and Eddie Murphy and not Eddie Murphy, Charlie Murphy, Rick James. That's where their skits are from, out of the China Club.
I see.
China Club. But those clubs were, like when the main DJ came on, the main headliner, they were like David Morales, like I was saying, Roman Ricardo, Frankie Knuckles. Those guys would come on, and the energy that those guys brought to the club, to the music scene, was just crazy, So a lot of those guys were definitely my like mentors, and I modeled my sets after. And there's something about East Coast DJs anyway, like when you DJing in like New York and New Jersey, it's like a total different groove. I mean, I've DJed a lot of places, and I can always pick out somebody from the northern East Coast as soon as they go on. Second track, I know where they're from. You know, so, it's just a groove that they have. You know.
So is it more aggressive or? Yeah, and I don't mean aggressive. I mean the vibrancy has a better, a different pulse.
Yeah, I want to say that they like working the mids and highs and then slamming in the bass tracks. You know, it's and they're really big on acapella overlays.
I
You know,
see.
like run that really new dance music. You know what I mean? You know, run it, but then run an acapella from back in the day, or like an older acapella where people know to buzz them to get them on the floor. You know, because a lot of
Got 'em.
people when they're out there dancing, you know, when out there on the floor having a good time, sometimes they like singing along with it. You know, you might need to throw a crazy loop track over top of it. You know, something that buzzes their mind.
Sure.
And some people are afraid of, I'm not going to say new music, but like stuff that they haven't really heard.
Oh
you know,
yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
know, they're a little ishy.
Yeah.
But if you put like a older acapella on there, they sing along with it, and they're just with a new dance track. Hey, you got a whole nother vibe on the floor.
Well, I got to tell you a story. Back, this is 80s when I'm, 100 years ago, when I'm in high school and I'm trying to DJ a little bit. I can remember learning a valuable lesson about people being familiar with music and introducing new music that will really drive people away, no matter what you, quote unquote, the DJ think that this is the real juice right here. Yep. People are not exposed to it. And exactly. I can tell you from my tiny little village of Youngstown, Ohio, I remember cracking open the George Clinton album that has Atomic Dog on it. And me and my friends are saying, hey, we're going to put this on Friday night. We bust it on. I'm talking about, well, this is Atomic Dog.
Right.
We're ready for this to go. And people walk off the dance floor at Atomic Dog. They didn't know it, but I tell you what, the big radio station played it 2 days later. It was over. And I thought,
exactly.
What happened? But you have to know, the people have to be conditioned as to what was happening.
It's crazy on how you have to introduce new music, completely new music to people. There are some people out there that, as long as the music sounds good, they're going to dance, sure. Regardless. But there's a lot of people that, if they haven't heard it before, they'll kind of back off until, until they hear it again.
Until it's acceptable, I guess, huh?
Exactly. But like I said, how you get that over is that you run that brand new music, but you put an older acapella track over top of it, just to get them out there, to get them to feel, to feel the beat. And once they feel it, it's different. They'll stay out there.
What would you say to a new young man or young woman who really has a desire to break into DJing? I mean, what are the mechanics of just going from your bedroom and doing your own thing, and you went up to Guitar Center and you bought your little equipment, to saying, hey, I'm going to attack this? What are the mechanics of actually breaking into the market?
Right now, so many things have changed. You know what I mean? It's from back in the day. I mean, it's a total different industry now. First thing I would say, I would ask them a couple of questions like, hey, what are you looking to do? What type of DJ do you want it to be? First of all, do you want to be a 360 DJ, which I call, they're like party DJs? Do you want to be a karaoke DJ? Or do you want to brand yourself and be like a tour DJ or a club DJ? And I also left out mobile DJs. They're all different,
Give a few little definitions for.
Okay, so if you're going to be a mobile DJ, mobile DJs are like the DJs that you see that go out and do weddings. They do business, office parties,
corporate gigs.
Corporate gigs like that. karaoke DJs are DJs that, they'll be like in a bar and they set up a karaoke screen, and they're like MCs. You know what I mean? They set it up and let the people sing along with it, karaoke. Then you have your 360 party DJs. Pretty much, they just, for the most part, they just take a lot of requests and they just play bangers. What I mean by bangers is just like the top 20 songs, and they're just rotating them around and taking requests. And I'm not gonna say they're not mixing, but they're more focused on just playing what the people are asking for. They're taking, doing requests. Now, if you want to be a tour DJ or you want to be in a club industry, there you're branding yourself. You're branding your name. You play a specific types of genres, whether it be tech house, EDM, dubstep, whichever it is, and you're branding your name. So that way, when people come to hear you play, they know exactly what they're going to hear. They're going to hear either tech house, EDM, rap, whatever your genre is. So that's and you're creating a following that way. So that's what I mean by the different types of DJs.
Understood. Now, do you find as a DJ that you have your favorite type of music that you personally dig, but you're known for that, and there's a discrepancy between what you go home and listen to and go, this is my music, or what you have to play to get paid, so to speak?
Yeah, there's a big, I love all music. All right, I like music. I know you're gonna probably think I'm like this nerd, but I have this frequency. I like tones, I like sound, and I like trying to manipulate different sounds and different waves to incorporate into my sets. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I love music, but there are certain musics that I listen to when I'm like by myself and everything, and it's definitely not the same music when I'm hanging out in the clubs and everything. Right. It's a little more on the laid back side, because when I grew up, I played the piano, which is more like on the classical side. So, I was trained that way. But like I said, when I'm out, then, hard, depending on what, the area I'm going to be.
Yeah. That's excellent. So how much touring do you actually do during the course of a year?
Well, with everything going on now, it's down, like, what do they call it? Spades, nil. No, so
yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah, but normally in the course of, and I'm praying that this whole thing just lifts and we can get back on point. But what's a general year look like for you? You're booking dates, you're flying out, you're doing this, that?
I'm looking, I'm trying to do at least like 2 to 3 major gigs a month. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. That's pretty steady. But I also host what I call the Mix Lab SATX. I think I told you about the Mix Lab, where I showcase up and coming new DJs to the scene. So, and I try to run that on the week or the weekends which I'm not gigging.
That's excellent. That's excellent. So
I look at it as, it's, what I mean?
Yeah.
You give back to the industry. You know what I mean? Yeah. You just keep the love flowing. Because once love is flowing, you'll always have love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you have to have that abundant spirit, Exactly. You can't have that scarcity mode,
Exactly. And you know what? We're constantly, we're surrounded by abundance. Always.
Absolutely.
We just have to learn how to use our talents to make it manifest for us.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that. There's always room. And exactly. you have to discover it, but it's there. Sometimes it's right there in front of you, but it's there.
It was crazy. I learned something that was kind of scary. It's kind of crazy if you really think about it, that, the average human, right, only operates on 10% of their God-given talent on any given.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Because we're surrounded by abundance. So we have many other talents that we're not utilizing.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, my wife and I went through a process about 4 years ago where we started calling it breaking our brain. We're going to break our brain. We're going to learn new stuff. We're going to take the risk. We're going to experiment because there's so much that we box ourselves into. It's like, we're in this capsulated, compartmentalized thing, and there's
Right.
so much more
Yeah.
to discover.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Whether it's in your business, whether it's in your gifts and talents,
Yes.
whether it's in your genre, there's always more. So
You're,
go for it.
you're surrounded by abundance. You just have to utilize your God-given talents.
I agree wholeheartedly. Now, what do you find? You've been doing this all of your life. So what would you narrow down to be the most rewarding experience of being a DJ?
Of being a DJ, I would have to say the interaction with people. I enjoy people. I enjoy talking, but just talking to people. So because you learn so much if you sit back, you engage yourself into a conversation. So I enjoy that. Not to saying that when you're up on this, when you're up on the stage or you're up on a podium and you're doing your thing, you're not interacting with everyone one-on-one,
Sure.
but as a whole you are. Yeah. So, just provide that energy, that sound, seeing their reactions and how they respond. I think that's pretty cool.
That's excellent. So conversely, what would be the most challenging attribute of being a DJ?
I would have to say, you know what? There are a lot of great DJs out there. A lot of great DJs out there. And what makes your success in the industry is being at the right place, the right time. And I always tell DJs this, it's never about who you know. It's never about who you know. It's about who knows you.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, it's about who knows you. It's not who you know, because you can know a lot of people, but if they don't know you, you're not going to get the breakthrough. So what I always say, is get out there, don't give up, and don't be afraid to express yourself, to talk, speak to these people. You know what I mean? Because if you don't speak to them, they're not going to know you. They're not going to, they may see you, they may hear you, but they don't know you. They're like, oh, he sounds good. Well, okay. And then they go on to the next. So there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of great DJs out there. And what you also have to do, separate yourself from the DJ next to you. You have to find your niche. You have to find your little whatever. If you want to get up there and you want to have like the big SpongeBob head, or if you want to have, like the dead mouse, you want to have the big mouse head on, you have to separate yourself because there's a lot of great DJs out there.
Yeah. That you led me right into my next question, which was, what separates DJ TEI1013 from the DJ next to him?
So there's a couple of things I feel. The one, I have this digital mask. I don't know if digital wear. The digital mask, that's one of my separations. The other separation is that if you were to go to any of my gigs or anything, I feel as though I bring so much energy from the time that I get on the set to the time that I get off. I just don't let up. Just bring the energy. I want the people out there to come to watch me perform or hear me perform or dance to my performance to be completely tired at the end. Completely tired at the end. And there's a reason why I say that, because the more drained you are, the more tired you are at the end of my set, the less problems at the end of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not looking to go start an argument. They're not looking to go fight. They want to go home and relax. Hey, I had a good time. You know what I mean? I fist pumped, I danced, I jumped, and now, dude, I'm ready to crash. I'm ready to take back.
That's the law enforcement officer in you. You are
Exactly,
actually, you bring peace. Kill the violence because you're too tired to fight.
Exactly. Hit hard, and then look, I'm done. We're good.
That's fantastic. That I like that. That
It was, you know, it's all about having a good time, you know,
right.
getting out there, have a great time. And I try to, you know, usually when I go to perform someplace, before I perform there, if I, you know, if I can, a week before I'll go there and I'll just sit out in the crowd and hang out in the crowd, see what type of crowd you're. You know, I mean, you can't do that with festivals, but you can do
Sure.
that with clubs.
Mhm.
You go and you hang out in the club, you see what type of groove they're into, you know, you listen to what that DJ's playing. You know, it's not that I'm going to play the same thing, but along the same things, you know what I mean, and bring a little bit
Right.
more energy to it, you
Yeah.
know, because it's
Yeah.
one thing to go to a club that you've never played for, you know, you never played at before, and then go there and just try to do something brand new.
Hmm.
You know, it'll shock the crowd, you
Yeah.
know, unless it's a heavy dance crowd, you know, you can't do shockers. You have to bring them in. And by the end of
Hmm.
your set, yeah, you can have some shocking stuff in there because you know you got them going with your flow.
That's excellent. So now, with respect to how a traditional artist would book an engagement at a club, does DJs or do DJs have like booking agents, or, you know, is there a network?
Absolutely. There's a lot of different booking agents that DJs can get involved in.
Hmm.
This is the other thing I want to say. I kind of left out when you was asking me the different types of DJ, right? So here we go. Different types of DJs. When you were saying when you asked me the question about different types of DJs, and now you're saying are there different type of agencies for DJs, right?
Yes.
So DJs are artists. I always tell them that you are an artist just like a musician. You know, if they're out there playing instruments, they're part of a band. Well, a DJ is that same artist. Um, and if you dive into DJing, um, you kind of understand what I'm saying. When a DJ is playing their music, right? When they're back behind the decks, turntables, whatever they're using, each song that they play is in a key.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? This is where you
Correct.
get into harmonic mixing. Each each song that you play is going to be in a different key, right? So if you're playing, we'll say if you're playing like a piano, right? You would not hit the C key with the A sharp,
Hmm.
you know? So it's the same thing when you're DJing. If you have a song that's playing in D minor, you would not want to play that with an F sharp track. I mean,
Hmm.
although BPM wise, you can put it together, but
Sure.
harmonically, it's not in tune. And that's the difference of a DJ that's playing for like a crowd that's getting into this groove, getting into the flow of music. If it's not harmonically in tune, you'll chase them off the flow, off the
Gotcha.
floor, you know.
Gotcha.
So DJs are
Yeah.
artists, and yes, there's booking agents. You can either get a management company or you can just go right and get yourself a booking agent.
Hmm.
Um, Beginners, like you know, getting into the industry, I would suggest either getting a good friend to speak for you because it always looks good to have representation.
Correct. That's great word right there. Now going back to the harmonic DJing, would you not say again? I'm kind of naive on that aspect. I'm a producer, so I know there's a lot of software and whatnot that
Mm-hmm.
producers use to kind of manipulate what's happening with beats, with tempo, with,
Right.
you know, harmony. Is there harmonic software that can be used to change the pitch of a particular song if you want to just thrust that into the mix, or not?
Well, you can always change your harmonics, depending on depending on what type of gear you're using. You know, you can go octave up, octave down, turn
Yeah.
your pitches up. Yeah, yeah, you can do all that. And that's when we get into the different types of DJing again. You know, if you're going to dive into it, you're taking this seriously.
Yeah.
You're going to have to know just a little music theory.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's one thing to just get behind the decks and start beat juggling. All right,
Hmm.
beat juggling is not hard. You know what I mean? You put
Gotcha.
a 120 song with a 120 a song that's running at 122. You just change you just adjust
Yeah.
the tempo, not the tempo, the pitch gauge on the decks or the turntables, right?
Hmm.
Line the BPMs up. Okay, you just beat juggling. But however, those two tracks may not be harmonically in tune.
Yeah.
You know? So, like I said, like a 360 DJ, when you're just playing for the crowd, you're just throwing bangers out there, it really doesn't matter. You know,
I see.
a lot of hip hop and a lot of rap tracks, it really doesn't matter because you're just going off after that hard beat. But when you get into dance music, harmonics means a lot because that's what brings the energy to the floor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know if you've ever been in a dance club and the song comes in, same BPMs, the same bounce, but all of a sudden when that song comes completely in, it kind of just changes the flow. You know, although BPM wise it's on target, but it's just the harmonics just kill the floor. Like everybody just leaves the floor, you know, and that's harmonics.
Now, how do you classify DJ TEI1013? What type of DJ do you classify yourself as?
Now I'm a harmonic mixer, definitely. The genres that I use is tech house, EDM with EDM feel. I use EDM. I like using EDM because EDM has like a lot of energy, you know, and EDM attacks like the younger crowd. So I use EDM a lot, but I also use old school house music, their acapellas, because it's something about the old school acapellas of house music. It just has that loop, you know. It's just catchy. So I use that a lot with new dance music over top, and it's a good mix.
Now, do you, as a DJ, because you have the producer in your description as well, do you work with artists? Are you hired out to remix, you know, cuts or selections?
Absolutely. I work with a lot of single solo artists on doing their music. That's another thing. I create music for them, or I do arrangement. A lot of the issues nowadays I see with the young up and coming artists is not their music and it's not their style, it's their arrangement. You know, they don't put a lot of time into their arrangement.
Sure.
They put their time into making their music, which is good. But if you don't arrange it correctly, it can kill your track.
Sure. You know, what's interesting too, you know, as just a sideline is, you know, music, the length of music is getting shorter because of the Spotify playlist. And, you know, where we were old school, you know, it was nothing for the track to be 8-9 minutes. That's cool. 14 minutes, it was better. We know Knee Deep like killed it all with the 1532, right? You know what I mean? But now you see, you know, tracks, and I think Kanye did this. His tracks on his last release was like 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you know, because they want more streams on Spotify. But then that cuts into, as you were saying, the arrangements because, you know, verse, chorus, bridge, or chorus, verse, chorus, and we're done.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's no imagination.
Yes, there's no breakdown in there. You know, there's creativity. I'm not gonna say no creativity, but there's no.
Is that what you just said right there?
It's funny you said that because I do like a lot of edits I want to play, and there's this one track. I'm not going to say what it is, but it was like 1 minute and 32 seconds long. I was like, 1 minute and 32 seconds long. What am I going to do with that? That's like an intro. And you brought up a couple of songs, but you left out one whose tracks played forever, and that was James Brown.
Oh, yeah.
His average songs were 15, 20 minutes long.
And we just getting started because we just getting the party started because we're going to set that groove first and you're going to feel that in your soul. And then I'll tell you what I got to say.
You just let it roll.
Right.
Music roll. That's where the creativity comes. Music, you know, the harmonics, the different frequencies are coming at you. And that just does things to the body. You know what I mean? Because, we're all made of frequency. Yeah. You know, so if you play music in the right tone and the right pitch, you got them. It doesn't matter.
So you're about to make me go down another rabbit hole. I'm trying to like, should I go there? But I mean, I believe truly and with all of my heart, and I've done a lot of research on this, that music is spirit.
Absolutely.
And if if you can just use the example of a movie, for example, if it's a drama, the tone, the instruments that are used are telling you what's going to happen on the screen and you're going to react to it.
Right.
Well, it's the same way that, there was a certain type of genre, the late 80s, early 90s, which I think resulted, Mr. Law Enforcement, in a lot of violence with respect to that, because the tempo was a certain tempo, the beats, the key was used, and then you put the murderous lyrics on it.
Made it aggressive.
And people will say, oh, no, I just like it because the music. But wait a minute. No, that music is absolutely having an effect because we are frequency. And boom, it hit the right frequency and you get the wrong result. Incredibly.
I don't like labeling specific genres of music, but there is a couple of genres out there that create problems. And it's because of the frequency that their music, their tone that their music is being played at, and then the tracks over time, not even tracks, the words.
The lyrics, yeah.
Yeah, the words, the lyrics that are being saying over top of it is making people highly aggressive. I don't know if you remember, like, when they were slam dancing, and I think that was goth. No, I don't think it was. It goth? Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the lyrics on that, over top of that, and the music at the frequency, at the key that would be playing it, is very aggressive.
Come on, man.
I'm trying to be nice.
No. I'm trying. Because.
I don't want to say, some of the things I really want to say, but I'm trying to be nice about it, So it was very aggressive and hostile, and that's why at these events there's so many problems, because these people are amped up, and like you said, we're frequency, and those pitches were hitting those frequencies and causing us to amp up.
We're on the same page. Absolutely.
You can control the crowd with music.
Yes.
So you can, doing a residency at a club, and you're working with the bar. So you use the Camelot wheel, which is part of the harmonic mix, on how to, at the 12 o'clock hour, pump them up, and then bring it around to like a D minor. Okay, you're bringing the crowd down, but it's still good music. And then you're coming up to your sharps, and you're driving them to the bar, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right. So go to the bar to get their drinks,
right,
do whatever. Then top of the hour, hit them hard again, and you work the clock like that. So you are controlling the room.
Dude.
That's all for frequency.
Yeah, it makes absolutely perfect sense. Now, here's an unusual question. How do you think that your military discipline aided in your success as a DJ? I think I know the answer, but I'm going to let you answer.
The discipline or
just that. I mean, law enforcement, my business partner is in law enforcement, 30 years with the Ohio State Highway Patrol, works now with the FBI. I mean, so and he's a musician. So I can kind of observe the discipline that is necessary in just his demeanor and his approach to music. And I think I see the same qualities in you. So I don't want to be stereotypical, but I think I do.
How I'd have to answer that question is, as far as the military side goes, is that it allowed me to put everything into a chronological order. Mm-hmm. I look at everything in 3 stages, or I did look at everything in 3 stages, but using the military, I use it crawl, walk, run. All right, you have to crawl before you walk. You have to walk before you run. So, and during the crawl phase, you're learning. You're working out all the bugs. You're kind of just setting the baseline. Then you go into your walk phase, which you're gaining knowledge now. You're getting a little proficient, and now in your run phase, you're running off with it. You're doing your thing strong. how I would say the military, as far as what I did, um, it gave me patience. I think it gave me patience, and it gave me, it allowed me to put things into a specific category. I can in phases, and each phase be as productive as I can in each phase. Meaning I can, out of the crawl phase, I learned the most in the crawl phase. In the walk phase, I learned the most that I could learn in the walk phase. And then running, I be the best me that I can be.
You're probably excellent at troubleshooting things too, are you not?
Well, I have patience for troubleshooting.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. And everybody can be excellent at anything as long as they have patience to do it.
Sure.
To take the time to just see actually what's going on. When you're troubleshooting, the answer's right there, amped up. You're trying to get it done. You going on that you just completely don't see it.
Yeah.
That's why when you hide things, sometimes if you hide it in plain sight, you're a lot better than if you try to hide it underneath the bed. People just overlook it.
Right.
Overlook it.
That's an excellent analogy. It really is. Well, I got to tell you, man, I'm grateful that you decided to hang out with us on the EntreMusician. And I knew that this was going to be a first. I really appreciate even the time that you gave me when we were offline and we hooked up on Zoom just to kind of meet each other and whatnot.
It was definitely a connect. We got this, especially our first conversation. I mean, it was just a connect right there. We had a great time.
Exactly. But now tell me, what question, when you were anticipating this conversation, what question was it that you hoped that I would ask you and I haven't asked and you wish I would have? What is that question, or what is the answer to it?
You know what? I don't have any questions. Just like when I wake up in the morning, I say, I don't know what's going to happen per se in details, but I expect the best. I hope for the best. I wish for the best. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So
absolutely, especially
with interviews, I don't know exactly what's going to take place. I don't know how it's going to take place, but I'm going to bring my best and hope the best.
Yeah. And you did. I mean, you absolutely did that. And my heart is in having this conversation with you, that that market that we at the EntreMusician has not tapped into, that we could start attracting young DJs who are curious, and we want to be able to present this market for them. So you're going to have to be our expert that we consult and go to, so that we can build a bridge to them. And so how can people really get in touch with you, up and coming DJs, if they want to hit you up directly? How can they do that?
Well, you can hit me up on my webpage, which is TEI1013.me. Okay. You could also hit me up on the Mix Lab page, which is mix_lab@icloud.com.
Absolutely. Now we were talking. I want to make sure that people get this. You were specifying specifically. My English teacher would be terrible. What did you just do, Jere? But you were honing in on the fact that it's important for the up and coming DJ to have knowledge of contracts. Can you just clarify that for me? Contracts, riders.
Absolutely. They definitely need to understand contracts. Any do that they're going to be leaving their residence, they should definitely have a contract. It's binding, number one, both parties to their part of the bargain. But yeah, they definitely need to put together a contract. They also need to understand what a rider is, especially if they're going to be working with promoters. Because promoters going to ask for. They're going to ask for two things. One, what's your rider, and what's your EPK? The EPK is your electronic if you're planning on branding yourself, you definitely need to know those two things.
And you mentioned insurance, which is
Oh
vital,
yeah,
vitally important.
absolutely. If you're going to be doing any type of mobile DJing, and you're going to be taking your own personal gear out to these different events, you definitely need to know about DJ insurance. You know, you need to insure your equipment, because let's just say 2 feet out the door, you're heading to the gig, you get into a car accident, okay, or some type of accident. Insurance cover the car,
Yeah.
but not necessarily high dollar in the car. So that's
Yeah.
where your DJ insurance will come in. Or if you're at the event playing, somebody gets a little bit too close to your equipment, kicks it over, knocks it over. Club owner going to pay for that, not
Yeah.
out.
Wow. Well,
So
well, now let me ask a follow-up question, if you don't mind, because that's on point now. Because I know I'm a drummer. I know what my kit is and what I'm bringing in, what the band is bringing in. However, for a DJ kit, are you bringing in the entire PA system, or are you just bringing in the software, the computers?
that all depends. That all depends. Some venues don't have sound, so
I
that
see.
DJ has to bring not only their headpieces, you know, like their CDJs or their turntables and mixers and stuff, but now they got to bring uh, their powered speakers as well, whether it be powered speakers or they're using amps and regular standard speakers as their setup.
I
But either
see.
way, they might have to bring everything. Some clubs do have sound, and you're plugging into their sound, so all you have to do is bring your headpieces. But if not, and you like say if you're playing at a restaurant on a deck patio or whatever, you're gonna have to bring all your gear.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, are you charging more for bringing in the big juice, or is it just, do you tailor your expenses in a way where, yes, we have to bring in the entire system, or we're just bringing in headpiece, so it makes
And
a difference?
yep, and that's where your contracts come in.
Gotcha.
All that has to be laid out, stipulated in your contracts. Okay, if you're just bring your head, you can charge them whatever your normal rate is going to
Yeah.
be. But if you have to bring a whole system,
U-Haul it in.
we're not talking about like $150 gig anymore.
Right. Right.
You have
That's
to be
what's up.
paid your worth. That's the other thing
Yeah.
too. That's the difference between a professional DJ and a bedroom DJ too, which is really bad because the bedroom DJ is just a hobby for them. So they'll undercut the professionals making money for it. It's their livelihood. And the bedroom DJs just want to bar tab, and get a couple of friends in for free,
Yeah.
and it's kind of diminishing the industry by
Sure.
doing it.
Sure, that's going to be show number 2. Okay, it's the same thing with working musicians. I mean, there seems to be no continuity with a particular club that won't pay the band what the band is worth, and so the band says, "Well, we're not going to play this club again," but band number 2 says, "We'll play it," and it's like,
exactly. There should be, just like how you're saying with musicians, right? Should be that way as well with DJ. There should be a standard.
Yeah.
There should be a guideline where these club promoters and club owners just can't say, okay, well, I'm going to take this bedroom DJ, give him $50,
right,
and let a couple of his friends in for free. You know what I mean? And that's it. Opposed to, okay, here's this good DJ, right? It's going to bring some quality to the club, bring great dance music, bring energy, and you $50.
Yeah.
On $50.
It definitely sets the tone for our next conversation, which we absolutely will have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't even get me started on it.
I know. Well, this is DJ TEI1013. The 1013 is not his birthday, so don't get it twisted like I did, okay?
And also, it's not DJ Tay. It's just Tay 1013.
Oh, it's just Tay 1013.
Yeah, I dropped it.
Okay, so Bam Bam to DJ Tay to no DJ.
Exactly. Hey, I'm evolving. That's what's up.
That's fantastic. Tay 1013. And get in touch with him directly, especially young aspiring DJs. As you can tell, not only does he has the experience, but he has the expertise as well. And you want to move forward, then you want that mentoring, you want that extra level of advice that you need. And we all need advice. I'm always searching for advice. You never stop learning. You can always tweak it. There's always more. Am I right?
Absolutely. Learn something new. Try to learn something new every day.
That's right.
I challenge you.
Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. Well, thank you so much, brother, for joining us. Peace and blessings to you. And thank you for joining us. My name is Jere B. That's Tay 1013 from San Antonio, Texas, doing it big. We are EntreMusicians, but you know what? So are you. We will see you again next time. God bless.
Thank you for having me.